In late 1995, a promising Silicon Valley startup watched as nearly 200,000 returned graphics cards flooded back into their warehouse. How did NVIDIA's very first flagship product, built on breakthrough technology, push the young company to within 30 days of bankruptcy? In 1993, personal computers were chaotic collections of single-function add-on cards, desperately struggling to render rudimentary interactive graphics. 30-year-old engineer Jensen Huang, along with co-founders Chris Malachowski and Curtis Preem, set out to solve the PC multimedia bottleneck. Armed with deep silicon design experience, the team envisioned a unified processor combining 2D, 3D graphics, audio, and game ports on one chip. Rendering 3D surfaces with flat polygonal triangles consumed tremendous memory bandwidth, a luxury mid-1990s personal computers simply could not afford. CTO Curtis Preem proposed a radical solution: render 3D space using smooth quadratic surfaces, drawing curved patches rather than thousands of tiny triangles. If successful, quadratic rendering would allow the PC to render photorealistic curved shapes efficiently, bypassing the blocky visual limitations of competitor chips. NVIDIA partnered with manufacturer SGS Thomson and board giant Diamond Multimedia to produce their flagship multimedia card, branded the Diamond Edge 3D. Launched in May 1995, the NV1 arrived packed with features, including built-in wavetable audio and ports for Sega Saturn console gamepads. NVIDIA's strategy relied on game developers adopting their custom quadratic software development kit, promising unmatched speed for games tailored specifically to NV1. But in late 1995, Microsoft launched Windows 95 and the DirectX API, standardizing the entire gaming industry around polygonal triangular rendering. Because NV1 lacked native triangle hardware, converting DirectX polygon games into quadratic surfaces required software emulation, resulting in atrocious, sluggish performance. Desperate for cash, Jensen Huang secured a $5 million contract from Sega CEO Shoichiro Irimajiri to design the NV2 chip for Sega's next console. NVIDIA engineers worked around the clock on NV2, but quadratic rendering proved so difficult for game programmers that Sega began quietly eyeing alternative chips. In retail stores, PC gamers overwhelmingly chose newly launched polygon accelerators like the 3DFX Voodoo, completely ignoring the expensive, incompatible Diamond Edge. Out of approximately 250,000 NV1 units manufactured, an astounding 249,000 were returned, representing a 99% product return rate. Realizing NV2 was obsolete, Jensen Huang honestly confessed to Sega that quadratic rendering was dead, yet asked Sega to fund NVIDIA's pivot anyway. In an act of incredible grace, Sega paid out the remaining contract capital, giving NVIDIA just 30 days of financial runway to build a complete new chip. NVIDIA scrapped quadratic rendering entirely, pivoting 100% of engineering resources toward designing a high-speed, DirectX-compliant polygonal processor, the Riva 128. Launched in late 1997, the Riva 128 sold over 1 million units in 4 months, rescuing NVIDIA from extinction and establishing them as a market leader. The NV1 disaster marked the definitive death of alternative geometry engines, locking the future of global 3D hardware firmly into polygonal rasterization standards. Surviving the NV1 catastrophe forged NVIDIA's core corporate ethos: never fight developer ecosystems, and be willing to bet the entire company on necessary pivots. NVIDIA's greatest strength was not avoiding failure, but turning a 99% product return rate into the ultimate blueprint for technological survival.